Ooh, excuse me. Well, dang it again. Hello and welcome again to River Valley Farm. Yeah, we're back to this thing at the moment. So in a happy accident sort of way, I didn't have a good can of gray primer when I finished the steering box. Matter of fact, the only thing I did have was a can of gloss. It was a can of black. It's not too glossy at the moment, but anyway, I think you can see my dilemma now, or at least I still see my dilemma. You know, the good old 2150 or number 50 red from Case IH is a wonderful thing, but if I'm gonna end up keeping this, it's probably gonna have to be a little different. So I'm kind of thinking a really nice gloss black, and then with new emblems, the 100 series tractors, I think anyway, were really cool because they had these bar you know, raised lettering all over them. That was what all their badging was, and everything else was nice big raised solid chrome lettering. So yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking on this thing. We still got some things to sort through. We're gonna have to get in there. I finally got the thing rolled around the other day to where I could look at it, and yeah, I'm gonna have to anyway, I'm way out of practice at this. I'm gonna have to split it, and then I'm not sure if we can just turn the flywheel a set of holes, or if we'll actually have to pop the spring gear off and flip it, or maybe just heat it up and give it a 90-degree twist or something so it doesn't land in the same spot again. The starter Bendix is not helping, but it's not the whole problem either. So yeah, anyway, we got that all rebuilt, all resealed. That's good. That's gonna, yeah, I don't know how much good a paint job I'm really gonna put on that piece, but it's gonna get painted. So I've been thinking very hard about this, and my personal preference is gonna be just a solid gloss black. Everything black, sheet metal, everything solid, nice big deep gloss black, or deep gloss black on all the cast parts, and then red sheet metal. And then of course, if I did the whole thing in black, or either way, I would get these done in red also. You know, something approaching the number 50 or 2150, whatever I decide to use red for parts of it. Just I don't know. This is yeah. I grabbed that can of black paint, and oh my god, I started drooling. I thought that was just beautiful the way that looks. And in this too, I decided I'd polish this little piece here, this little piece of sheet metal here, and throw a coat of paint on it. And it's not quite there yet because it's only got one coat, but yeah, I think this tractor is going to be black when it gets done, especially since the little boy has talked me into keeping it. So yeah. So anyway, meanwhile, back at the ranch, we got that. We could put that on, but I really don't see the point since I'm going to split the thing anyway. So I think what we're going to do today is we're just going to go ahead and start on that process. Shouldn't be too terrible to do. I don't think the only thing I'm going to have issue with is, do I have enough blocks of wood laying around so that I can crib the engine end up, and then I'll just put the throw a jack underneath of the transmission end and roll it backwards. I've heard people argue this, or had people argue this with me before, but they say if you can get this blocked up solid, then you can roll it and leave that sitting. It's easier that way. No, it is not. If you get this thing blocked so that it is sitting good, roll that away from it, because it doesn't have the center pivot on this axle. Okay, that's solid, straight, everything's good. All you got to do is pull it backwards. This, you try and roll that after you've got it sitting decent, there's no telling what's going to happen to you. So that's the way I do it. I always roll the back end of the tractor rather than rolling the front end away, because it's easier and safer in my opinion. So, as I was saying, we're going to get working on splitting this thing. I'm going to get working on splitting this thing. Since we're already this far into it anyway, it shouldn't take much to be able to do it. Yeah. Bell housing bolts and these tubes right here, the hydraulic lines that go to the pump, you're pretty much done. And as far as that goes, all we got to do is take 3 bolts out and then roll the tractor apart back there for the hydraulic lines. I'm sure that there's an O-ring in there or something, but anyway, I got O-rings. So yeah, the big thing is going to be getting this piece, or rather its trunnion right there, off and not killing anybody with that. So let me get started. All right, so I got all the small stuff off of here anyway. I've got these tubes unbolted. I forgot to mention the exhaust. Took the exhaust off. Took this bracket here off because, well, I just didn't like it being there. Got the trunnion clamp off of the rear, whatever you're going to call that. Anyway, now all I got left is the bell housing bolts, or some of the bell housing bolts. I got 2, 2, and 2, I believe. Leastwise, I hope that's all there is. If there's not, then they're inside. All right, so we've got all the bolts out. Got the jack under here, blocks and whatnot under there. So let's see what gives here. The front end's trying to move and the back end's not, so okay. Not a big fan, but anyway, the back end's going to be a little bit more difficult to move because it has a flat tire. So let me see if I can't roll this thing along a little bit. And then, of course, you know, my lovely floor here, it's always helpful in instances like this also. So, I don't think the brakes are on. Let's see. Guess we better chalk the wheels. Ouch. And not trip over the steering linkages and die on the way. That'd help. Okay, wheel chalked. Now, let's try the dry-bar method again. And I don't like that. I don't like it. So, there it goes. get closer. I forgot to wedge the, not a big deal, but I forgot to wedge this. That's why it was trying to go at the wrong times. So, whoops, my fault, but not a hill for a climber. We'll get it straightened out. Next, I need to jack it up a little bit and then it should roll, hopefully. Hopefully. Alright, so here we have it. In its separated glory. I did not know this, but I really like this feature just because you don't need an alignment shaft for the clutch. You can use the input shaft right here, and then the input, or you know, it splines into the transmission rather than here. So excellent idea on their part on this thing. So next up, we're gonna pull the clutch, pull the well, actually, you know what? While we're here, let's look at this real quick. Where did it go? You can see it's pretty wore all the way around, really. But more so right here. Okay. So that is what we're dealing with, what I'm doing this for. So next up, we'll pop the clutch off, whatever, 6 bolts or something. Take the flywheel off, and then we can heat this ring up and it'll fall off, and we can either flip it over or then reposition it and put it back on the flywheel. But that will be another day's project. And then of course we got lots of cleanup to do. Who knows, we may well have something leaking. That's not too bad. But anyway, I think that's enough for today. I've had enough for today anyway. Other than, of course, I'm going to get that off of there. So bear with me a minute while I do that. Well, you know, the things you find when you take stuff apart. That pilot bearing is seized to the input shaft. That's why it came out the way it did. And it's been that way for a while by the looks of things. But I don't think we got anything too tore up. Our flywheel is obviously seeing its better days. And the clutch has plenty of wear material left on it. Well, if I don't ruin it by dropping it on the ground first anyway. Okay, so next up, we have to take 4 bolts out and pull the flywheel off. Should be easy, right? So anyway, bolts are out. Come on. What the hell's going on with you now? Oh, there it goes, dowel pin. That's why. That's why there's a dowel pin. All right, so I can't imagine that that's really supposed to look like that, but at the same time, I don't think that the input shaft of the transmission wallering around would have machined this piece out like it is. That's the end of the crank, by the way. But anyway, I don't see anything in here that makes me feel ashamed of the rear main seal or anything, so I think we'll call that good. Like I said, the clutch disc itself, I'm okay with that. The flywheel, whew. You could tell she was a loader tractor at some point in its life. I don't know how well you guys can see that because this tiny screen on this GoPro doesn't really show me very much, but it is cracked. That will take some consideration because it is cracked. And really, well, I got my local machine shop. I have to see if he can do a flywheel for me or not. Can turn that for me and see if there's anything left of it. But anyway, we'll see how that works out. Meanwhile, all we would have to do is heat this up and lift it off. You can just flip it over, or you can turn it. But as much wear as we have in different places on this particular one, I think we're going to have to flip it over. So that being said, I think that's it for today. Let me know what you think about painting it black. I think it's going to be, I think that's what I'm going to do, whether you like it or not, but let me know what you think about it. Let's see. I need this thing to go in the house. Those. And that. And then, yeah, that should be it. Oh yeah, I don't think I've mentioned that thing yet. Anyway, something else to look forward to. I bought a trailer. It's not a new trailer, but it's a way better trailer than what I had. I can actually haul equipment on this one, so that'll help a lot. And then, of course, before I can use it, we got to put a ball in that, which I have a ball, but I don't have time to put it in. Or, well, you know, this week would have been great, but bad things happen. So anyway, thanks for watching River Valley Farm, and I'll be back with more interesting stuff later.